How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Fallout 76 video guide, and today we're going to be covering how to make crop circles and or compact crops. Now this video is going to be covering potatoes and razor grains, although using the same method could work and help for the other crops besides gourds. Unfortunately, gourds seem to no longer work with this method, but with that, let's go ahead and get right to it. So let's go ahead and start with the potatoes. Now I like to use a 3x3 box. And what I do is I put a Tato in the center of one of the tiles and then another one in the middle tile. Now notice how both are facing the opposite way. This will help in terms of placing them down and keeping them kind of compact. Now once you blueprint them, all you do is remove the two that you already placed. This is what I like to do. And then simply pull out the blueprint and then start placing. Now, in terms of making it a nice perfect circle, it's all based on the player. You can also do like some chaotic amalgamation of Tatos in the center if you want to, but all you have to do is just keep using that blueprint, and you can see how close we're able to get it. Now, if you have any issues placing the Tatos close or on top of each other, just simply rotate it to the opposite side. That is the reason why we have them facing opposite directions, because sometimes that happens. At least that's my understanding, because when I have them both facing the same way, it usually just breaks or doesn't work. Now we're going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit because, as I mentioned, that's all you need to do is just constantly place it in a circle, or however you want. You can even do a nice little cluster if you'd like. Now one thing I should mention is that you can only hold up to 16 for it to be blueprintable, and we'll show you that with the razor grain. But in order to blueprint, all you do is just select the foundation and then row selection, which you'll see at the bottom of your screen. I press RB for mine, press it twice to select, and then once it highlights the Tatos, I deselect the platform because just having the Tatos itself is a lot easier to place than having the foundation as well. Now, if you get it into a nice circle, you can do something like this. This is what I have in my camp. It is 5 sets of 16. And they are nice little circles, beautifully put together. And that is how you make the crop circles for potatoes. Now I do believe you can use this same method for the other crops, but for the razor grain, it's going to be a little bit different. Now for the razor grain, we have a slightly different setup. Although the 3x3 box does work, we use 2 foundations for this one. Now you may notice 3 dark spots on top of the razor grain. Make sure that those are horizontal. And just like Tatos, you place one facing one way and then you flip it around and place it on the opposite end. Now the reason why we have this setup is because we're going to be doing the razor grain cluster the long way. Not by the extent of takes forever type of way, but it's just long. Now with your blueprint, I like to start in the corners and kind of work my way back and forth by placing 2 on each corner and then deleting 2 and then replacing them. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. So we'll place this one here, we'll put it on the opposite corner, place it down, and then afterwards we're going to go ahead and remove your choice of which one, but we're going to remove 2 razor grains. Now remember when I said on the Tatos, like if it doesn't place, just flip it? Same with the razor grain. You can see that it's red, and when I turn it around, we're able to place our razor grain perfectly fine. And you basically rinse and repeat this until you get 16 for the total. And of course, if you want to make this at your camp, you can do significantly more. But that is basically how you make the Twinkie razor grain setup. Now to show you guys that it does take 16 to make a blueprint, I went ahead and did 17. We're going to go ahead and pull them so you guys can see the total, which we do have green thumb on, so we have 34. So 34 divided by 2 is 17. Now, just like the Tatos, we're going to go ahead and remove the foundation and try to blueprint it. Now, for me, anything past 16 did not work. So that is why I'm mentioning this and kind of showing you guys what I mean. So this foundation, we're pressing row selection and it's not working. Even when I'm trying to select it individually, it's not going to work. Now, if I went and removed one of those razor grains and then tried it again, we're going to be able to select the entire thing like we did with the Tatos with no problems, just like so. Now if you're able to get more than 16, very nice. Now a cool thing that you can do with razor grain is you can put 2 rows on a single tile, granting you 64 total razor grain for one tile. It's not too bad. Also, it looks like 2 Twinkies next to each other. Yeah, pretty cool. Now to kind of show you guys what I mean by if you want more, do it at your camp, this is what I mean. We decided to put a bunch of Tatos. It's not pretty, it's just a clump of crops, and we're gonna go ahead and turbo fert it. And as you guys know, we can only hold up to 16, and for this, we can hold up to 26. Of course, I could have gone a lot more if I removed the outer ring of Tatos and then just kept rinsing and repeating. This can be a massive pile of Tatos if I really wanted it to. And you can technically do this with the Twinkie razor grain setup. Now, if you decide to make this a lot more clean, you could probably interact and grab all the crops a little bit easier than how it took me, but just to kind of show you guys how that works. But that about covers it, guys. I hope you guys found the information useful. If you did, consider subscribing and let me know in the comments, especially if you guys have any questions. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy hunting, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next one.